Hello and welcome to the Make Your School a Nutrition Hub with Summer and After School Meals webinar. My name is Laura Hambrecht and I work for the University of Missouri Center for Health Policy. I'm the program manager for Western Missouri working on the No Kid Hungry Missouri project. For a quick introduction, No Kid Hungry Missouri is a Missouri implementation of the National No Kid Hungry model developed by Share Our Strength. Share Our Strength is a nonprofit campaign focused on supporting qualified entities in the use of USDA child nutrition programs. The No Kid Hungry Missouri model is funded by the Missouri Department of Social Services and delivered in collaboration by the MU Center for Health Policy and the Family and Community Trust. We provide technical assistance to schools, private organizations, businesses, and individuals in order to break down barriers and implement common sense solutions to ensure that kids have access to nutritious meals. The Family and Community Trust, or FACT, is a public-private partnership guided by a board of directors from Missouri's child and family-facing executive agencies and private sector leaders from throughout Missouri. FACT's mission is to promote and support effective public-private partnerships and community involvement to develop innovative solutions for improving the lives of Missouri's children and families. FACT supports the work of 20 well-respected community partnerships around the state. FACT's role in No Kid Hungry Missouri is to provide programmatic direction for the project and administer mini grants to sponsors of child nutrition programs. The MU Center for Health Policy provides service and policy support research to address health equity and improve the social determinants of health for all Missourians. CHP collaborates across MU's 5 campuses, works closely with state executive agencies serving Missouri's families, and provides technical assistance and analytical support to state, regional, and local policymakers. In addition to No Kid Hungry Missouri, CHP initiated and supports the Missouri Health Equity Collaborative, the Missouri Council for Activity and Nutrition, Kids Win Missouri, the Missouri Healthcare Workforce Project, and provides leadership for the Missouri Kids Count program in addition to other work. So let's get to the content of our webinar. What is a nutrition hub? Schools operating as nutrition hubs ensure children can access healthy, high-quality meals by administering all eligible federal child nutrition programs, including school breakfast, lunch, after-school, and summer meals. This strategy provides children with the nutrition they need 12 months of the year and gives school nutrition departments a financial management solution to increase revenue, optimize staff time, and maximize operational efficiencies. School nutrition hubs provide vital investments in kids and their community buildings, including improved access. Kids have access to wraparound nutrition, including a healthy breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as meals in the summertime when school is out. Improved educational outcomes. Schools that effectively feed children and prevent hunger benefit from increased student attendance, reduced tardiness, fewer visits to the nurse's office, and overall higher academic performance. Enhanced academic achievement improves success for the community as a whole. Nutrition hubs can also improve school culture and community. They can create new jobs and improve wages and hours for existing school nutrition employees. Nutrition hubs also bring school and community stakeholders together. Principals, teachers, parents, custodians, school athletic directors, parks and rec departments, and community-based organizations can all work together to provide children the meals they need. Nutrition hubs can also see improved operational efficiency because schools that operate as nutrition hubs streamline menu planning and procurement across programs to maximize buying power. They can also improve inventory management and reduce administrative burdens. Nutrition hubs can also see improved financial success because higher participation in a variety of programs increases federal reimbursements, providing school nutrition programs with added revenue to innovate service models and reinvest in their programs and people through additional training and updated equipment. Becoming a school nutrition hub is a win-win for schools, students, and communities. Next, please watch a video that includes a few testimonials from school nutrition professionals on why they chose to create their own school nutrition hub.
And how do we provide the safety net to ensure that all of our children have access to meals and begin the day ready to learn, and that during the summer we cover that gap where kids are facing uncertainty.
We administer 6 federal feeding programs. We have the school breakfast program, lunch program, after-school snack program, fresh fruit and vegetable program, summer food service program, and the child and adult care food program, also known as the supper program. And so it kind of is a no-brainer thing to expand your opportunities to reach out to your children to bring in more participation, because the funds don't have to be siloed into each individual program. The funds are shared among all of our programs.
What we're seeing is that because of the economies of scale, because we're the largest provider, we can get truckloads of food delivered to us at a much lower rate than if we were buying small quantities on a weekly basis. We can now order a truckload.
And so I have found that by administering these 6 programs helps us to keep our bottom line very healthy. The more students that we feed, whether it's breakfast, lunch, after-school snack, supper, summer, whatever avenue it is that we're able to reach the students, from the business side, it increases our revenue.
With the breakfast program, we started out, and like I said, we had 32% participation. That went up to above 85% participation in 1 year. That really helped us with the revenue, because the reimbursement, the money coming into the district, is overwhelming.
So in our school district, we've been able to add 12 new full-time positions this year to help serve our dinner program. So anyone who may be afraid that the cost is prohibitive, it really isn't, because you'll find that the numbers that come for your meals at supper time or even in the summer, they pay for the extra costs that you have in labor.
We've added 22 jobs. Several of them are full-time jobs. We've added a truck driver, we've added a baker, we've added several part-time cooks, we've added servers.
And then also summertime, because a lot of our staff went home in the summer without a job, and now we're able to employ a lot more folks in summertime as well.
The last thing that our kids need to think about is, are they going to be fed today? That's my job. I'm going to feed them, no matter what.
All right, now that we've seen an inspiring story, our main objective in providing today's session is to get you thinking about your school and personal stake in creating a nutrition hub in your community. We'll discuss how to expand programs to serve more children, identify areas of growth in your district, how to apply financial best practices, and how you can develop a step-by-step action plan for expanding key programs that's simple to create, use, and share. First, we'll go over the basics of a few child nutrition programs, discuss becoming a school nutrition hub, and then go into planning resources. So, as directed by the U.S. Congress, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food and Nutrition Services administers several child nutrition programs that provide healthy food for children. Together, these programs help fight hunger and obesity by reimbursing schools and other organizations for the nutritious meals that they provide for children. School nutrition hubs participate in all federal child nutrition programs, including the National School Lunch Program, School Breakfast Program, served after the bell, the At-Risk After-School Meals component of CACFP, or the Child and Adult Care Food Program, and SFSP, which is the Summer Food Service Program. Business-savvy school nutrition professionals know this strategy meets the needs of children, while also providing school nutrition departments with opportunities for growth and efficiency. In Missouri, the child nutrition programs are administered by 2 separate state agencies. The Department of Elementary and Secondary Education administers the National School Lunch, and School Breakfast Program. They also administer an after-school snack program and a seamless summer option that both run to the National School Lunch Program. The Department of Health and Senior Services administers the Summer Food Service Program and the Child and Adult Care Food Program after-school meals section. So let's talk a bit about breakfast. Many schools already offer their students a nutritious breakfast in the morning. There's a large body of supporting evidence showcasing the positive outcomes for kids that eat school breakfast, which include higher math test scores, increased attendance, and increased likelihood of graduation. Implementing a breakfast after the bell service model increases the chances that students participate in breakfast. Breakfast after the bell can look different among districts and also among schools in the same district, as one model may be more appropriate for a certain age group. Breakfast in the classroom is a model where breakfast is served and consumed in the classroom, just like it sounds. This can be done immediately before the start of the school day or immediately after the start of the school day. Students or staff may deliver breakfast to the classrooms from the cafeteria via coolers or insulated rolling bags, or school nutrition staff can serve breakfast from mobile carts in the hallways. In the grab-and-go model, students pick up conveniently packaged breakfasts from mobile service carts in high traffic areas, such as hallways, entryways, or cafeterias. Students can eat in the classroom or elsewhere on school grounds before and after the bells rung. Grab-and-go breakfast works well for slightly older kids who might be more interested in spending time with their friends in the morning. Second chance breakfast is essentially a grab-and-go breakfast served between first and second periods. For that reason, it works well for older kids, middle and high school aged, whose schedules are based on the period system, where they travel from class to class. Students eat breakfast during a break in the morning, often after first period or midway between breakfast and lunch. Schools can serve breakfast in the same manner as they would with a traditional grab-and-go breakfast. The at-risk after-school meals component of the Child and Adult Care Food Program offers a flexible way for schools to connect kids with free, healthy food after the school day ends, on weekends, and over holiday breaks or emergency school closures. The number of suppers served through the after-school meals program has more than quadrupled in the first 5 years that the option's been available nationwide, and we've seen an increase in service in Missouri in the past 3 years, as approximately 12% of the children on the free and reduced meal program are also receiving an after-school meal. That being said, a large gap still remains. And outside of Missouri, there are much lower rates of service. In some states, implementation of the after-school meals program through CACFP is so low that there are just 1 or 2 suppers served for every 1,000 free or reduced price students. Implementing this meal service can provide many benefits to the students and the school district. Providing an after-school meal has been seen to increase participation in after-school activities, such as tutoring and other enrichment programs. It helps meet the needs of students on the school campus that are on the school campus for long hours, and it helps build community and family engagement. From the school nutrition perspective, the new market creates relationships with a new customer base, leading to improved participation in other nutrition programs as well. Additionally, this program provides a market to offer and test new menu items in smaller settings, creates a new revenue stream, and in many cases can create new positions or lengthen workdays for existing staff, which we have heard as an example in the video. There's a few requirements in order to administer CACFP after-school meals, as listed on this slide. First, the site is required to meet all health and safety standards, which this requirement is actually waived for schools as they already have to meet standards for other meal programs. The site also does have to be located within the attendance zone of a school where 50% or more of the students are eligible for a free or reduced price meal. Additionally, there's a congregate meal requirement, meaning the meals must be consumed on site. And participating schools must offer educational or enrichment programming in a structured and supervised environment. Kids are not required to participate in that activity, however, it must be offered. In the case of CACFP after-school meals, the agency preparing and providing the meal is called the sponsor, and a site is where the meals are served and consumed. If you look at the example that's here on the slide, you can see that the sponsor can host multiple sites that aren't necessarily officially affiliated with them. You can see that a school food authority could choose to serve at an elementary, middle, and high school building of their own district, or they could serve at the elementary and middle schools, and then also a community-based organization down the street because that is where the high schoolers tend to gather after school, maybe a local community center. You can utilize this program's flexibility to maximize the number of children you're able to serve on a daily basis. Serving CACFP after-school meals comes with many benefits. All meals served to children are free of charge. A school can serve meals to any child in the community age 18 or younger, no matter if the child is an enrolled student. There's also no need to collect individual enrollment or eligibility documentation, which in our view eliminates the stigma for participating in a free meal program. This program promotes inclusivity by serving all children. So I mentioned this on the previous slide, but when it comes to the enrichment activity requirement, as long as something is offered, students do not have to participate in order to receive the free meal. Also, the activity can be as simple as tutoring or homework assistance in the library. If you offer this open activity, students staying after for that activity and others are able to have an after-school meal, meaning you can serve your kids staying after for tutoring or sports, cheer, chess club, or kids that are just staying to hang out with their friends. At a school district in southern Missouri, the food service director said she's seeing new social groups being created. And at the high school, she says there are peer-to-peer counseling during after-school meal times, which is pretty new for them and exciting. Additionally, a CACFP sponsor is able to provide both a 5-component meal and a 2-component snack to students each day. And you can serve these meals on weekends, weekdays, when you're hosting an activity like a track meet or a Scholar Bowl, holidays, unanticipated school closures or emergencies, or any other day when school is out of session during the normal calendar year. As an example of a school serving out of school time, one district in Northwest Missouri hosts a Thanksgiving dinner for the community. Now that they're a CACFP sponsor, the meals they serve to children are reimbursable and they only have to pay for provided adult meals. Now let's go ahead and switch gears and take a little bit of a look at summer meals. When school is out, kids no longer have access to school meals and their families' budgets are often stretched to the breaking point. The Summer Food Service Program can provide an important source of nutritious food for America's kids during the critical summer months. No Kid Hungry Missouri is particularly focused on kids' access to summer meals during the time period between when summer school ends and when the new school year begins. The reason is because the number of summer meal sites drastically decreases during this time of year. In Missouri, the number of sites for summer meals decreased by over 50% in the months of July and August in 2019. The availability of free meals is also an incentive for children to participate in summer enrichment programming, ensuring that kids are well fed and in a safe environment while engaged in educational and recreational activities. This access to both nutrition and educational programming can help students avoid summer learning loss. Despite all the benefits of SFSP, the program is severely underutilized. According to the Food Research and Action Center, only about 15% of kids who eat free or reduced price school meals also receive a meal during the summer. That means that about 16 million students who rely on free or reduced price meals during the school year do not have access to them when school is out. So, some details. As with after school meals with SFSP, the sponsor is the fiscal agent responsible to the state agency and the provider of the meals, and the site is where meals are consumed. The requirements to administer a summer meal site include being approved as meeting health and safety standards and serving at a site where, by using census or school meals data, 50% of the children are eligible for a free or reduced price meal. Children do have to consume their meals on site. However, there's no activity requirement for SFSP sites. I will add that we have seen participation increase if kids are engaged in an activity. Additionally, the meal site can serve up to 2 meals in many combinations, but cannot serve both a lunch and a supper. I'll note here that the reimbursement rates for SFSP are the highest out of any child nutrition program, where in the summer of 2020, a lunch or a supper will be reimbursed at $4.15. Now that we've covered the basics, let's move on to discussing how your school can begin leveraging the child nutrition programs to become your own community's nutrition hub. Becoming a nutrition hub can sound like a daunting task, but breaking down the process into manageable steps will help ease everyone into making this change. Here are the steps we've identified. First, research new programs, then identify and recruit potential sites. You'll want to build stakeholder support, plan details and logistics, implement the program, and monitor and evaluate progress. To organize all of these steps into a digestible and accessible document, we suggest creating an action plan. This will delineate a sequence of steps that must be taken for the strategy to succeed. You can identify the individual responsible for each action item and a timeline for task completion. Share Our Strength and the School Nutrition Foundation have tools available online to assist with this process. Here's an example of an action plan template that's accessible online through the School Nutrition Foundation website. As you can see, it is a very simple document that will also be easy to share among individuals identified as responsible for a specific piece of the plan. If we go back to creating our School Nutrition Hub steps, and let's work through completion of our action plan. The first step that you'll want to take is researching the programs that you are not currently operating. In school districts here in Missouri, this is very often the Child and Adult Care After School Meals Program and the Summer Food Service Program. In Missouri, my team can assist in providing you with a lot of information on both these programs. We can connect via phone, electronically, make visits to your district to meet in person with yourself, and eventually other stakeholders like administrative teams and school boards. Also important is connecting with your state agency. And in the case of Missouri, that is either going to be the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education or the Department of Health and Senior Services to get some questions answered. There are manuals for each of these programs accessible through the state agency websites that allow you to review program-specific compliance requirements to fully understand what will be expected of you and your nutrition department. Additionally, we suggest contacting other schools who are providing these programs as they can help shed light on how they're run. There are program operators who are open to hosting visitors interested in learning more about CACFP and SFSP, and the No Kid Hungry Missouri team can make introductions if you're interested in setting something like that up. As you move through the research phase, you'll want to identify potential sites that you'd like to serve these meals and build stakeholder engagement within the staff and communities of the proposed location. While identifying sites for CACFP and SFSP, keep in mind that they must meet the eligibility requirements, such as being located within the attendance zone of a school that has 50% or higher free or reduced lunch students. There are tools online that make this search easier. On the DESE website, you can find a mapping tool that will show you school district boundaries. Additionally, for summer meal planning, you can access census data on the USDA Food and Nutrition Services website. Again, you feel free to contact the team here at No Kid Hungry Missouri, and we can assist you during this research. It's also important to keep in mind that the CACFP and SFSP program options are adaptable, and you do not have to offer the service at every single one of your school buildings as you're implementing the program. It may make sense to pilot after-school meals at the elementary school where many children stay for activities, and it may make sense to offer SFSP first at the high school when, after the summer school term ends, students still access the building for football and cheer practice, or because a lot of kids gather at the playground across the street from the building. This is a really great time to get creative and think about where most of the children are that would benefit from this new meal service. Wherever you identify potential sites, it will be imperative to build support within the staff and the community. Nutrition hubs require champions, champions of programs, champions of the vision, and champions for kids. Start small by identifying a few key stakeholders that can help you get new programs off the ground. Share stories of success and watch them grow. In a school district, you can identify champions from so many different groups: administrators, teachers, nutrition staff, coaches, board members, parents, kids, and community members. A great example of a surprising after-school meals champion comes from Georgia. The football coach in a school district in Burke County, Georgia, noticed that his student athletes were suffering during practice and showing symptoms of both dehydration and malnutrition. He said some students had to be removed from practice because the intensity was too much for them to handle. He and the school nutrition director worked together on solutions and eventually came to learn about CACFP after-school meals. They decided to implement and then offer the 5-component meal to every student, including the athletes, and the coach immediately saw improvement. And that year, the team even ended up winning the state championship. The coach said that the after-school meal program was a big part of their success. So this just goes to show you that you cannot predict who your best and biggest community champion could be. It's another opportunity to think big. Okay, so during the research and planning phases, it's really important to retain a sense of flexibility and also creativity. Look for customized solutions to meet the needs of each school, site, or stakeholder. Implementing new programs requires trust, support, and reflective, authentic partnerships. Stakeholders need to feel heard and know that they have the full support of the food service program. If that means purchasing garbage cans with lids to prevent would-be pests or placemats to prevent messes, the experts suggest to find money in the budget to meet those needs. The efforts will pay off in the long run. Other customizable solutions include offering grab and go, second chance, or breakfast in the classroom in the morning, an after-school meal served in the cafeteria or the classroom, and summer meals served at school buildings, in local parks, libraries, pools, or community centers. For both after-school and summer meals, you can also prepare meals at all of your site's kitchens or a centralized kitchen and then deliver them to each site. So one example of flexibility here in Missouri is that one school district began serving after-school meals to her students as a cold meal only. After the program had been implemented for a while, she heard reports that the students were throwing away their vegetable and fruit components. In an attempt to minimize this food waste, the nutrition director began to serve hot after-school meals 2 days of the week. She found that the students very much preferred the cooked options, and now she's actually made the switch to offering both a cold and a hot option every day after school. Another example is that a district found that students love being assigned a job to pick up the after-school meals and bring them back to their classrooms. So that is the policy that they implemented. Kids love having jobs. So the possibilities for adaptation are far and wide. Once your research is complete with champions on your side, it's time to start planning out the details and logistics of program implementation. You'll need to determine specific details such as how much extra labor will be necessary to serve the additional meals. Think about if you can give more hours to a part-timer or alter schedules in order to fulfill the need. Maybe a member of the nutrition department will be filing the claims, or will it be another district employee like a bookkeeper? Another question to ask is what equipment will be necessary to accommodate the meals? Will you need more refrigerator space, coolers and carts to deliver meals to areas that are far away from the kitchen and cafeteria? How about other transportation needs if there's a centralized kitchen preparing meals for additional buildings? Many school districts in Missouri operate 3 buildings, an elementary, middle, and high school, that although separated, are located on the same campus. Sometimes there's a hallway between them, and sometimes one has to go outside to navigate the campus. If meals need to be carted outside, what's the best way to do that? Thinking about what kind of wheels can hold up on a concrete driveway is important. Also, some districts have multiple floors. If you were to deliver after-school meals to the classroom and the elevator is broken, how will staff members get the meals upstairs? Maybe it's best to invest in an upstairs cooler. Many questions should be considered at this point. In regards to the labor piece, it can be beneficial to chart out performance indicators and participation data on a separate chart to drive your decision-making process. Monitoring participation, staffing, and other indicators at the school level can support program improvements and help identify operational concerns in real time. You can utilize a spreadsheet as simple as the one displayed here to monitor and keep track of moving pieces. You can also play with numbers to identify where your district has the capacity to expand. As we saw in the video, one district hired over 10 new employees after implementing after-school meals. Could that be a possibility in your district? Next up is preparing the menu and details of service. In regards to after-school meal menus, we have seen schools succeed with multiple models of service. Some schools will serve a cold meal and others will serve a hot meal. What makes the most sense to your students and facility? On the slide, you can see a handy chart with suggestions for facilities making the decision. You can consider a couple different options. You may be preparing and serving at the same site, reheating meals prepared earlier in the day, serving only cold meals, or this could work in a combination of ways if you're preparing meals in multiple kitchens. So how about service delivery? Supper in the classroom sees very high participation rates, but if all the students gather in the cafeteria to await their bus's departure, maybe that's the best location for a meal service. Again, another time to really consider where the kids are in order to maximize service. Another critical component for the planning, details, and logistics phase is to familiarize yourself with the financial well-being of the nutrition department and school as a whole. Serving as a child nutrition program sponsor does come with a reimbursement from the state that can ease the minds and budgets of program operators. However, the sponsoring organization does have to prove financial stability to run the program for at least 1 month until reimbursements begin to occur. You'll want to review staff hours and pay, past participation data, and assess future food and labor costs that these programs will incur. So there are a few best practices to share with regards to creating your plan. First, you'll want to make sure to involve staff in the planning process to share ideas. Empower your staff to think outside of the box when it comes to innovatively solving problems or roadblocks. You never know when a solution is going to present itself or from whom. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner year-round creates overlap within programs that can increase kitchen efficiencies, improve inventory management, and enhance district purchasing power. Serving more meals over more hours also helps maximize staff's time. Opportunities to improve inventory management is to serve one meal while prepping for the next, lunch and dinner menus that share entrees and sides, and summer meals that utilize inventory remaining at the end of the school year. Another thing you'll want to do is address space constraints and identify opportunities to improve efficiency early on in the planning process. Increasing meal production will require more preparation area, more refrigeration and freezer capacity, and more dry storage. The physical space required to become a nutrition hub may present challenges and may require creative, outside-of-the-box approaches and strategic thinking to find solutions. Review all building sites available to the food service department and add that assessment to the strategic planning process. You may also want to talk to vendors and assess the possibility of adjusting delivery schedules when needed to alleviate space constraints. Some nutrition hubs follow a central kitchen model that can increase efficiency in distribution, storage, and production. If a central kitchen is unavailable, look to larger production kitchens or other food production sites as opportunities to streamline operations and facilitate growth. All right, now with all that research completed, we can look back and see that the action plan is coming along and we're on our way to implementing a new meal service. Looking back here at my action plan, I've added more details and the list of steps goes on, but as you can see, steps have been broken down into manageable pieces. So there are even more planning resources available to you on the Schools as Nutrition Hubs section of the School Nutrition Foundation website. You can find an interactive PDF that walks you through your own district to help the operator decide where to potentially expand programming. A break-even calculator, action plans for breakfast, summer, and after-school meals, inventory examples, and operational planning guides for each meal service is also included, something that you can find on this website. Additionally, the No Kid Hungry Center for Best Practices is a comprehensive collection of resources for after-school meal programs and summer meal programs and breakfast programs. Here you will find everything you need from reports highlighting the benefits of the meals to implementation toolkits and checklists. School nutrition professionals have the tools and programs available to eliminate child hunger while operating a financially sound nutrition program. Acting as a nutrition hub for the community has a range of benefits, including improvement of program efficiencies, creation of new jobs, and building trust with parents and other key stakeholders within the school. Becoming a nutrition hub is not only possible, but it's also sustainable. Implementation of any number of the wide varieties of strategies identified here offers the potential to help children and school nutrition programs. If you have any questions regarding making your school nutrition hub, please do not hesitate to reach out to the No Kid Hungry Missouri team. Myself and Jeremy Malarski, Program Manager for Eastern Missouri, are happy to answer any questions and offer technical assistance as you develop your organization's plan for implementing new meal services.